These are the best places to catch sunsets in Venice, Florida. First one is amazing because it has a lot of unique things to it. It's the jetty. Now, what makes the jetty unique is it's kind of like a pier, but it's a little bit closer with level with the water. You're not sitting so elevated from the water. So because of that, you can really get up close and personal. A lot of times around that sunset time with some dolphins. You'll see a lot of times dolphins. I'd say about 50% of the time that you're there, you have a chance of seeing multiple dolphins swimming in the area, sometimes really close in between the South Jetty and the North Jetty, which is Nokomis's jetty. And occasionally you could see manatees there. So having the ability to see that adds a little something to seeing the sunset on top of that. It's a very popular spot, so keep in mind it does get very, very packed, especially during season, which is the winter months. And there's also Jetty Jacks there where you can grab a bite to eat. Sometimes there's live musicians playing right in front of Jetty Jacks. And you'll see people fishing there, and if you're into fishing, that's a great spot to do some fishing as well. And what makes this spot also kind of cool for sunsets specifically is almost always you're gonna see people out on a boat because they're trying to catch the sunset on the water. As you see the sun setting, there's always a boat that kind of is going right in front of it, and you'll kind of see that boat, the silhouette of it. It's just very picturesque. And on that note, it's a great location to get pictures and videos. Pretty much all of these locations are, though, because of the beautiful colors that are in the sky at sunset time. It's magical. The second spot that you'll want to try to catch a sunset, and these are in no particular order. Before I get into it, if you've ever been to Venice before, leave a comment. Let us know your favorite place to catch sunset so you can let people know where that is and why. And subscribe and turn on all notifications to catch our newest videos about Venice, the things to do, what's going on with the real estate market, the different neighborhoods, and a whole lot more. And we also covered the other surrounding cities. But that second location is going to be Venice Beach. Now, Venice Beach is probably the most popular beach, or at least one of the more well-known beaches in all of Venice. And the reason why this is a good location for sunsets is it's a lot of open space for you to get a good spot to be able to see the sunset. But then on top of that, we have Drum Circle, I believe on Wednesday nights, so that adds a little different vibe to the sunset experience there. And just the beach as a whole has a very unique feel, like you can kind of see the jetty in the distance. Like our very first time going to Venice Beach, it almost seemed like fake, if that makes sense. Like it just seemed like surreally amazing. I guess that's the best way I can put it. It just didn't seem like it could be real, like how everything looked with the water, the location, the way that the coastline moves. It just almost seems like a big pool. It feels like you're on the Truman Show, if you've ever seen that movie. So you bring together all that vibe with the beach and then the sunset and the colors. And it's just a really cool location, especially if you kind of make an evening of it, because you can go from the downtown, walk through Heritage Park, which is an amazing little like trail in the median, and then go to the beach. Like that's a great way to do your like late afternoon into the or an evening into the sunset time. It's a really good spot to catch sunsets. Next best spot to catch a sunset is the Venice Fishing Pier. I mentioned this earlier, that the jetty is kind of like a pier. Well, we have an actual fishing pier as well, where you can fish without a license, so you could go fishing there again, kind of like on the jetty, catch the sunset there. But it's also great to catch the sunset because the Sharkies is also there, so you could get a tropical drink. And it looks really cool to watch the sunset with the pier kind of there. Again, kind of like I talked about before with the jetty, you can see the silhouette of the boats. Well, you can kind of see the fishing pier in front of the sun. And I don't know, it just adds something to it. Again, great for pictures, great for videos. Colors, as always, in the sky are going to be amazing. But something about the pier being there just kind of adds to the vibe and experience, and it just gives it a little bit different feel. The next one that gives it a different feel, and again, it's going to come back to some of the scenery, but the feel of this beach is very different, and it's Casperson Beach. Now, Casperson Beach, you have the boardwalk going along the water, so by going on the boardwalk, you can get a different view and different experience because you don't get as much sand on if you don't actually want to take off your shoes or get sand on your sandals or shoes. You can just go on the boardwalk, and again, it gives it a different look too, because there's a lot of like mangroves and vegetation and trees kind of in front. And then you've got the sand and then the rocks, which the rocks add something different. Even if you're not on the boardwalk, you got the big rocks in the water, which is different than a lot of other beaches in Florida. So adding all those pieces together just gives it a very different look, different feel. It's a much more narrow beach. It's not like you have a whole bunch of sand between you and the water. So it's a little bit closer. So all those things kind of add to the experience, make it a little bit different. And for whatever reason, a lot of times when we're there, also at the jetty, we see a lot more like birds, especially pelicans. And it's just cool to see the silhouettes of those, especially at Casperson, just seeing them in the distance and kind of diving into the water or sitting on the water, and catching the sunset. It's very calming and relaxing, and it's just always a pleasant experience to just sit back, relax, and be like, yeah, life is good. Next best place to catch a sunset, and this one I think is fun for a very different reason. It's just down from Sharky's and the fishing pier, and it's South Brohard Paw Park, or also known as the Dog Beach. And right there, you know why it's unique and different. You could bring your dog there, have it off leash. So if you can get your dog to sit still, you could maybe, you know, cuddle with your dog, catch the sunset, and just have life be even a little bit better, because everything's a little bit better with your dog, right? But you could also just do it where they're maybe running around doing whatever they're sniffing for, toys they're trying to have thrown, and have a little bit more of an action-packed sunset if that's what you're into. The next best place to catch a sunset in Venice, Florida is, technically this is an Inglewood beach, but it's so close to Venice, I'm gonna include it on the list, and it's Manasota Beach. And the reason this one's on the list is just because it's one of the more quieter, secluded beaches, especially off season. Like, you could be on that beach and catch a sunset with maybe 30 to 40 people on the beach besides you. During season, especially spring break, much different story, but off season in the summer months, it's very likely that you'd be able to catch a sunset that's very quiet, very secluded, very natural feeling, kind of like Casperson Beach is, but Casperson's become somewhat famous, so there's a lot of people there. So on Manasota Beach, you're gonna get a little bit more of a quieter experience, and it's almost like you have the beach to yourself. So that one's definitely on the list for that. If you're looking to buy or sell a home anywhere in the Venice, Sarasota, Northport, or England areas, my wife Heydy, who's on most of the videos on the channel, is a realtor in the area. You can call, text, or email her at any time. Her information will be in the description below. Phone number is 941-221-1897. Call or text at any time. Whether you're looking to move in the next few days or the next few months, we'll always have your back. And we hear from people all the time and we love it. If you want to know more about things to do in Venice, Florida, check out this video. There's tons of things to do in that video. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, and live breezy.